We've had this Australian government decision to support a resolution for a ceasefire in Gaza. You've been delving into the decision-making, Andrew?
Yes, Tom. Reports that this vote at the UN, Australia's position on it, didn't go to the full cabinet appear accurate. No doubt it was dealt with by the National Security Committee of Cabinet, but there have been several ministers in full cabinet, including Tony Burke and Ed Husic in particular, and potentially to a lesser extent Jason Clare, arguing for an Australian position of a ceasefire in Gaza. This was Tony Burke on with me a fortnight ago. There was a story in the Daily Telegraph today that your colleague Jason Clare has told Arab Australians he's fighting in cabinet for a more pro-Palestinian government position. Are you and Ed Husic doing the same?
I don't talk about what I do inside the cabinet room, and I certainly support the decisions that the cabinet's taken. I represent a part of Sydney which isn't only in a situation where people are similarly grieving, as many of the families who we just referred to had been the target of that protest are grieving, but who also constantly put a view that the history of the region did not begin on October 7.
All right, so this was Tony Burke today at a brief press conference being questioned on whether full cabinet made this decision around Australia's position to vote for the UN resolution for an immediate ceasefire. The minister indicated at various points cabinet ministers had some input. That's different to full cabinet ticking it off.
I will say this, the whole way that Prime Minister Anthony Albanese manages the cabinet is collegiate, and everybody gets the opportunity to be able to make sure that they input and present their views in those meetings. But given those meetings are confidential, I'm not sure that I can offer exactly what you're after there. I think it's fair to say that all decisions of this government are made on their merits, and I'll leave it at that.
And Tom, it's been well ventilated now that this issue has hit the first cricket test between Australia and Pakistan, which started today in Perth. Australian player Usman Khan has put what is perceived as a pro-Palestine message on his shoes, and he is appealing to the ICC to be allowed to wear this "All lives are equal" slogan on his shoes. He's just gone to the crease. He's put tape over the message on the shoes, but he's wearing a black armband, which is connected to this. It's been confirmed. This is what Khawaja said earlier on the Fox cricket commentary.
Full support of Black Lives Matters. There's plenty of guys who have ridden on the shoes before. You know, other guys that have have religious things on their equipment, and under the ICC guidelines, that's not technically allowed, but the ICC never says anything on that. So I find a little disappointed they came down hard at me, and they don't always come down hard at everyone else. So that was probably the most frustrating part, but at the end of the day, I can't really do anything about it. All I can do is fight it appropriately, and however I can. I'm not going to get emotional because there's already enough emotion in this.
All right, Khawaja plays for Queensland these days, and here is Queensland-based Sports Minister Annika Wells, a Cabinet Minister, backing Khawaja on this issue for the second day in a row.
Athletes are not just chess pieces who can be moved around the chessboard by other power players in sport. They are their own people, and they have a right to speak up on things that matter to them, and this is that. And in particular, through this, through what Usman Khan is going through at the moment, he's doing it respectfully, he's doing it peacefully, and he's following process. He is appealing through the ICC's regulations in a respectful way that follows the process. Athletes are not just chess pieces who can be moved around the chessboard by other power players in sport. They are their own people, and they have a right to speak up on things that matter to them, and this is that. And in particular, through this, through what Usman Khan is going through at the moment, he's doing it respectfully, he's doing it peacefully, and he's following process. He is appealing through the ICC's regulations in a respectful way that follows the process.